Hi, welcome to the Neighbor to Neighbor Energy Challenge's monthly show here on WCTV 14. My name is Erin, this is Chamae. We're both members of the outreach team here in Wethersfield, and we're here to help connect residents like you with resources to address energy needs in your home, anywhere from weatherization to upgrading heating and cooling systems to putting a solar array on your house. Our goal is to reduce energy waste in homes by 20%, both in Wethersfield as well as 13 other communities around the state. Wethersfield, as well as 7 other communities that are participating in the program, have been selected to continue into the third and final year of the Neighbor to Neighbor Energy Challenge.
So we're very excited today to have Town Manager of Wethersfield, Jeff Bridges, as well as the Chair of the Green Summit Committee and the Vice Chair of the Energy Committee, Matthew Forrest. Thanks so much for coming, guys. As Erin mentioned, we were originally anticipating to be wrapping up outreach in all of our communities around this time. Erin and some of our other core members are going to be moving on to bigger and more exciting things. But we are really excited that we are working in a few selected communities that we think are really going to be able to be successful, and Wethersfield is one of those communities. So, Matt, can you just tell us a little bit about the significance of having outreach here in Wethersfield for an additional year?
Well, I think it's great because I know that with the work that you guys have done in the last 2 years, so I'm assuming that you'll continue to do great work in the third year. And my understanding, not just my understanding, my experience with the Neighbor Neighbor program is that this is a group of people that gets out into the community, explains the new ways in which our residents of our town can save money, be more energy efficient. All that always translates not only to the pocketbook but also into the environment. So we have you guys as a group here that are explaining to certainly me and the greater community about how we better improve our homes and our businesses and reduce our costs, and I think that's great. I mean, there's only a positive result from that.
Definitely.
That's what I think, at least.
Youth here in Wethersfield means a lot, both to the staff at Neighbor to Neighbor, but also to the town of Wethersfield. Can you both talk a little bit about why you were so excited to see us come back to Wethersfield in the third year of the program?
Well, I think Wethersfield has such a broad range and broad construction period of housing. I think there's tremendous opportunity to make inroads for people in this community for energy savings. You have houses that date from the 1600s all the way up to current time, and different methodologies of construction have different energy efficiencies. So this program lends itself perfectly to the Wethersfield community and to the residents of this community trying to save energy. We have a high number of people that are elderly that need to save every penny they can on utility bills. So this program lends itself to them perfectly as well. So we're excited that you're still in the community and still educating our residents about this terrific opportunity.
It would seem that also, when we talk about electricity and now we have the deregulation of electricity and some of the technologies that are coming on board which do save money, but I mean, they can be quite complex, whether it's how you're purchasing electricity, understanding the intricacies of even just your electric bill. It's much more complicated than it was, back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, and even 10 years ago, frankly, since deregulation. So I think that as we educate, certainly our elderly, no doubt about it, but even everyone from the spectrum of young to old, that we'll have a better community for it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And Chamae, Jeff and Matt talked a little bit about what the community within Wethersfield looks like. Can you expand on that profile a little bit and maybe give folks at home a quick profile of some of the other communities that we work in?
Sure. So we're working in towns all over the state and definitely working on this job. I grew up in Connecticut, have lived here pretty much my whole life. But it's not until I started working on this program that I realized how different communities are, depending on where you're located. So we have some of our communities that are down in Fairfield County, and a little bit more affluent people in the state really understand the value of energy efficiency. Are really excited about it, and deeper measures like adding insulation or solar is not a barrier to them. The cost of it isn't something that they have to overcome. So we're seeing a lot of success just because they don't have as many things to combat. We work in other towns like Windham and Mansfield, which are college towns, so the local economy is very dependent on the student populations that live there. And we have a lot of student volunteers who are really excited about the program. And then we have some lower income communities where there's more people that really benefit from energy savings in their home because, it's like every dollar makes a huge difference. And so we can help them with the free versions of the program, which they can see the energy savings, and then that cost is not prohibitive to them either. But here in Wethersfield, we kind of have a little bit of everything coming into place. So it really is like a microcosm of all the communities that we're working in. So one of the reasons that we're really excited to be extending outreach for another year is just to see, if we can make this really go forward in this last year, our program is a success, because if it can be done here, it can be done anywhere. And that's really what the goal of the program is it's a pilot program. We want to be able to roll it out to different communities, understanding that you do have to adapt your different strategies to the different populations that you're working with. So,
what do you think your strategies will be in the third year?
What do you think they should be, Matt? This is a partnership, right? I want to work with you. You've definitely grew up here, lived here your whole life, so you have a great understanding of the town. I've worked here a little bit, lived here, so I have some ideas, but I think between the two of us, we should be able to come up with some great things.
Well, it would seem like you'd have to certainly talk to the local media. I think a lot of the people in our town read the Wethersfield Life, Wethersfield Post, and because we have such a diversity of age and income in the town, that it really does take multiple means to really communicate with different segments of Wethersfield as a whole. We've got a large people of that go to church and temple and so forth. And I know a lot of information is dispersed within the religious affiliations in town. And then there's certainly, your mega media, your television, your radio, and that, that will work as well. But it's really a multimedia approach, I think. And then, of course, we have the younger generation that is, more digital. So everything from Facebook, but it's even more than that over the last 2 years. Apps and emails and blasts and Groupons even, and the face of communication is changing so greatly. So I think that's something that we'll have to work on and through.
And going back to what you're saying about faith, I think that we definitely could become more, form more strong partnerships with churches. We've seen some really great faith campaigns in some of our other towns. We've seen that if we do it in like a time-bound period, so like 5 weeks, and get things in their bulletins and get people excited about it. I was in Portland. I went to one of their churches, and this guy just like impromptu stood up and was like, everyone here should do this because it's awesome, and I did it. And even the cost of the light bulbs is like more than what you pay for the visit. And faith communities are they understand community. And if you have someone in your church being like, you should do this, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it because
it's a very trusted source.
Yeah, you trust these people. And that's kind of the whole notion of neighbor to neighbor. So I think you hit the nail right on the head with that one there.
Definitely.
Do you have any other thoughts? You said media. Jeff, would you like to contribute in terms of on like a town level what we should be thinking about?
Or? The third year is going to be very important to gain some momentum as the third year ends, and we're kind of left to our own devices as the official program shuts down. But there are certain elements we'd want to see continue. And the educational benefits of the program, we want to continue because these opportunities will still exist, just not in the form and format of the neighbor to neighbor. So more media from the town, more mailings from the town. As we roll out our social media opportunities and expand our social media opportunities with the new website we're producing, make sure that the neighbor-to-neighbor information's on that, and even that after the neighbor-to-neighborhood third year's over, that we continue to maintain that information. So we've got our own capabilities, but our own responsibilities to make sure that the residents of the community still have these opportunities and understanding what they can do to be more energy independent.
It would seem that as we move forward, and it's going to be a very interesting transition, I think, after the staff, the staff, when you guys do a lot of the work, and it will transition, either more into a volunteer or, who kind of picks up where you guys left off. It would seem that one of the most critical things in this third year is that we form in some way, or maybe you guys think about some kind of a coalition, so that we have all segments of the community together, that we kind of spread the amount of work, as far as information transfer and so forth, spread it out, but that we're all kind of committed in whatever kind of, I hate to use like the Fellowship of the Rings, but there has to kind of, well, in that sense, there's kind of like, different people from different areas of Wethersfield life, whether it's the town or whether it's a church or something like that. So it'd be interesting to see how we can put that together to kind of move forward, because these programs from the state are going to continue, they're going to change, they're going to have to be vetted, explained, there's financing programs. I mean, all that needs to be worked through, and it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep going. So we have to kind of, as a town, work that out.
And that's key, because there are so many programs out there and so many scams out there.
It's true.
Right.
So having a clearinghouse of information where a group or the town or a group with the town vetted particular programs and said, we can't endorse it, but at least it's on the up and up. And you're, and it's got a reputation. It's a viable program. You're not going to get scammed on this. I think that's going to be important too.
That's very
important.
important.
What we found with the direct energy opportunity was there were so many people that were getting calls from different utility companies and then getting slammed back and forth between their providers. The town, in cooperation with Direct Energy, found we were able to say, this is a good company. You can pick them. It's safe for you to go to them. And that provided a lot of peace of mind to a lot of people. So I think that's where we need to go next with all these programs that are rolling out, whether it be solar panels on your home, whether it be localized fuel cells or whatever the opportunity is.
Right.
We need to be able to vet those and make sure that the residents of the town aren't going to get taken for a ride.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key components, because this can be very complex. And then, I had people about, I'd say once every quarter, 3 or 4 months, they come to my door and they're trying to sell electricity at all kinds of rates and this and that. And having gone through the process with Direct Energy, I'm a little bit more in the know. But certainly my grandmother,
Right.
she gets people they promise them a good rate, but there's a $200 exit fee. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be necessarily in the best interest of the resident, and they're trying to kind of do a forced sell right at the door. And that's just one example, the electricity, but there's going to be lots of financing programs, and solar looks to be a new big hit.
Yeah.
Let's put solar panels on your roof and this and that. And how do we understand, what's the ins and out, whether this company's on the up and up, are they going to go bankrupt after they've taken a down deposit, all these, are they bonded, insured? There's lots of questions like that.
Right. What do the residents need to ask of the company? How long do they have to keep it there? What happens if the roof needs to be replaced? All these things, we really need to educate the residents on that, because some people are very sophisticated, and some people are just they want to participate, but they don't know what to ask.
And they're doing their job, they're raising their kids, and then there's a sophisticated financing program for solar panels. Do you have 40 hours that week to designate to that? Probably not, but maybe if the town goes through it, and not just the town, but whatever this group.
Yeah, whatever this group is,
Right.
provide some resource of information to make sure the residents are protected. Yeah, that's important. Very
Definitely.
important.
And I think that's going to be a big focus of the work that Neighbor to Neighbor does in year 3, is try to get a good base of volunteers, so that after our staff leaves, you'll still have that base of volunteers to help you collect all the information and disseminate it to your residents, make sure that everyone has up-to-date information.
Yeah, I know in talking with Christopher Shepard over at the Nature Center, he was saying, that in this upcoming year, he thinks it would be really beneficial to think about the structure of a group like the Green Summit and say, how do we get people, different representatives from different sections of town, to be participating. You know, maybe it's not the same old people because, you know, it is, especially if you care about something like this as much as Matt or Erin or Jeff or I do, you know, it's hard to keep doing it every day because it's a lot.
It's true.
But if you can pull in different people that are passionate about it and want to help their friends and want to help their neighbors, we can definitely educate them and give them the information that they need to really be trusted sources for people to turn to. And I think that's what we're really going to look to do.
Yeah.
We are going to have reduced staff, which means that we really do want to spend this time empowering different community members to really be the people that their neighbors can go to. So.
Certainly. All right. So, next question is, so if people do want to get started today, what are some of the ways that you guys would encourage people to get involved with this?
You want to take it?
Sure. I think I think the key is finding groups that want to work together, synergy from each group, and maybe a representative from a church organization. Then you have the local service organizations or Rotaries, the Kiwanis, and see how they can all come together. And getting a representative from each one into a room and saying, hey, okay, do you want to participate? Do we want to work together? I think really that's the first step to creating that new group of volunteers, because Wethersfield is a town of volunteers, but so many times we use the same volunteers over and over again. And I think this issue, energy, is so timely, and it lends itself well to reaching out to a new group of people that may not have participated in other organizations in the past. So I think finding that synergy amongst the groups is going to be important, and reaching out for a first step is probably where we need to go next.
It would be interesting, and I think this is maybe you guys have even more experience, maybe than myself. But where are the pockets of interest of people? Because I think, Jeff, you're right. We see a lot of the same names and faces when we do boards and commissions. I mean, it's all the same group, whether they're running for a political office or they're on a board or commission or they had it. I have to believe we have 26, 27, 20,000 people here. There's more than the regular 200 names that we kind of see filtered throughout. Yeah. So there must be pockets of people that have time and interest. And how do we contact those? And who are those people? And we still work with it all the time. We find, at least I think we have a volunteer committee to do a building or whatever. We're always looking for good people, and certainly newer people that are interested in getting involved, and all that stuff.
I think that's a challenge that we've seen across the board in all of our communities, and that we've been consistently trying to work through. I think every community has their handful of volunteers that are super involved in everything in the community. They're the ones that do the food drives, the energy commission, the running for office, and everything.
PTOs, PTAs. There's a lot.
Definitely, and I think we've seen a lot of success in many communities. Within the faith communities, we see a lot of people that kind of come out of the woodwork a little bit more, and are willing to put some extra time into some other projects.
The schools too, like PTOs.
Too. Yeah.
You have maybe the PTO president and the treasurer, but you still have a whole body of people that care about their kids and care about the livelihood of their future. And so what I've noticed is that you have a lot of people that want to contribute, but are a little bit timid. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of reaching out and saying, hey, can you just send out this email to 10 of your friends? I know you had your energy assessment. You said it went really well. And your friends really care what you think. Don't you want to help them? And this will only take 5 minutes. So you can contribute, and it doesn't have to be this huge time commitment. Even just that one thing can go a long ways. So thinking of that too, how do we meet people where they are, engage them on a level that they're willing to participate? And then once they're like, oh, that's not so bad. Okay, maybe there's something more I can do that maybe requires a little bit more time. But, it's not negotiating a contract with an alternative energy supplier and like all the nitty-gritty legal details, because I would be daunted if someone was like, can you do that? Like, oh no, Matthew Forrest, please, what do I do?
I think
Jeff, what do I do?
Well, you have to call the town attorney.
I think in the education community too, people look a lot to the adults and don't work enough through the students. And I think that's something that we're trying to tap into a little bit too. I think, people don't give high school students or even college students enough credit. I mean, they can do a lot of work. They can do a lot of good work. And so I know that's something that we're starting to work on currently, is kind of getting into working with some of the students in the education system, both at the high school locally, but also there are a ton of universities around here too. We'd love to get some college interns that want to work on or in a campaign type setting, and certainly we work on such a variety of different things that we can, work what we do into whatever it is that they're studying and kind of make that a personalized experience for them.
I mean, with Erin on her way out and me, like, okay, when this program ends, where am I going? I've just realized that all the work that we do requires so many different skill sets that there is really a lot of opportunity for growth for someone that, that wants to learn different things and be able to say, like, I produced a local TV show, or I put together this amazing workshop that 60 people came to, whether it's event planning or getting involved with the media or doing
data
some
entry.
campaigning. Yeah, data entry. We have a data entry intern, and we're like, yes, thank you. Like, that is, not all of us are super ecstatic about data, but he loves it. That's the capacity that he wanted to help. And
Nice.
so, yeah, really, it's a little bit of everything. Yeah, talking to people on the phone, talking to local community members. So
Definitely. And I think one of the easiest ways for people to get involved that we haven't even talked about more directly, if people haven't heard about us or don't really know exactly what we do, a really good way to get involved today is to sign up for your Home Energy Solutions visit, which I know we've talked about on previous episodes, and I think we've touched on it a little bit today. But
60, 70% viewership.
Absolutely.
But I bet you can still repeat it just in case we have.
Yeah, no,
just
I'm going
one
to.
Or two new people.
So it's a state program. Anyone in the whole state of Connecticut can participate in this program. It's a 4-hour visit. Two contractors come to your home that have been specially certified by CLMP. They'll spend up to 4 hours in your home doing energy efficiency measures. They'll set up a blower fan in your front door to figure out where exactly your house is leaking energy. They'll seal everything up right on the spot, give you some compact fluorescent light bulbs, do some other energy saving measures, and then provide you with recommendations for any follow-on work at the end of the visit, as well as give you information about tax incentives and rebates. And that's a $75 copay at the time of the visit after they've done the work. But people usually see between $200 and $300 in savings every year. So the visit pays for itself within 6 months, and you just continue to see that savings year after year. So.
I mean, we've had a lot of people in town that have participated, so people can also, if they are interested in solar or interested in insulation, participating definitely is a great way to become a spokesperson, because you can say firsthand, I installed solar in my house with this company. They were really great. This is what the process looks like, and it makes it really easy to explain it to other people. Like I said, people can get involved at any level and help in a variety of ways. So,
how do you guys see Wethersfield coming together in year 3? It's kind of I think that you're taking it on the bull by the horns, if you will, to kind of set up this group that will move forward. You've had outreach for the last 2 years now. Where do you see the pockets of people coming from?
we definitely have had some people that have gone through and had really good experiences, so we definitely want to pull them in. We have different organizations that have gotten involved. So we're setting up the coalition partner meeting for the end of September. So we'll be working with Jeff to invite representatives from all different organizations in town to come out to that.
Maybe there's somebody that could call you. I think I just saw a number up if they were interested in maybe moving forward.
Definitely.
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe people want to contact us. Our phone number at the office is 860-372-4406. And if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, your home energy solutions visit, moving forward with any upgrades, volunteering, please feel free to give us a call. Again, my name is Erin. This is Chamae. You can ask for either one of us. Plus, we have a whole host of lovely other people that work with us at the office. But I think we're pretty much out of time. So I would want to thank both of you for coming by and spending your half an hour with us tonight. So
Thank you. We look forward to year 3 and
Yeah.
gaining some momentum and doing one big push to see how many people we can get involved.
super.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.